Hello, dear learners. I'm Pulatova from Bucharest State University. Today our topic is based on language learning strategies. Let's begin. What is what are learning strategies? The definition is the thoughts and or actions that students use to complete a language learning task. They are used for problem solving during language learning. Strategies can be learned. The other is using learning strategies to improve learning. Why teach learning strategies? The goal is for students to become independent learners with the ability to use strategies correctly in a variety of contexts. Strategies improves students' acquisition of a foreign language. Students discover how and when to apply them. How do we organize them? Metacognitive strategies, task-based strategies. Let's begin then. General learning strategies. Students begin to think consciously about their own learning. They focus on how students can use their own resources to learn most effectively. Then, multi-cognitive strategies. What is it? Organize and plan organization of what they need to do. The second one is manage, regulation of their own learning. The third one is monitor. Students check their progress on the task. Evaluation, evaluate. Students reflect on their work. Strategies that use what you know. Make predictions. It happens when a student anticipates information and make logical guesses about what will happen. They can only be used when students have enough relevant background knowledge. Strategies that use your imagination. For example, use real objects or role play. Students imagine themselves in different roles in the target language. It can be used with the concrete or abstract concepts to make them more concrete. Strategies that use your organizational skills. For example, find apply patterns. It can include students use a rule they already know or create a new one. It's a useful institution where students can generalize about a language structure. Use graphic organizers, take notes, use or create visual representations of important relationships between concepts. Write down important words or ideas. Strategies that use a variety of resources. We can give an example. Cooperate. By working together, students gain confidence, share their strengths, and complete tasks more easily. The next one is talk yourself through it. Students tell themselves they are doing a good job and they are capable of completing a task. I know I can do it. Training proposal for paper reading. Strategies may be applied to any language learning skill, including reading. Now we are going to describe a proposal for paper reading. Some materials are for other languages than English, but can be adapted without effort as the English translation always appears somewhere. What procedure should I use to teach strategies? Preparation. The second one is presentation. The third one is practice. Fourth one is self-evaluation. And the last one is expansion. Example for preparation. Ask the students to tell you about the weather today. Ask them to describe the weather in the summertime and the winter time. And its sentence. Explain that sometimes we understand things in a story because of what we know already. Show the students a picture from the story. For example, Froggy gets dressed and asks him, "What kind of weather is Froggy preparing for?" Write the response on the board. The second one is presentation. We introduce a new concept of strategy. There are 5 steps. For example, the first one is name the strategy or make inferences. The second one is explain how to use it. The third one is tell when to use it. The fourth one is model it. And the last one is explain its importance. The next one is name the strategy. Give the strategy a name. The strategy is called make inferences. The next one is use illustration. This way it will be easier for students to understand and remember the strategy. Then explain how to use the strategy. Here we can say that tell students what the strategy means and how to use it. For example, the strategy is called to make inferences. Make inferences can help us figure out the meaning of the story by using clues such as the content, pictures, or specific words in the story. If you don't know what a word means, try to read other sentences to figure it out. The next one is tell students when to use a particular strategy. Make it clear to students what situation can call for use of strategy. For example, you can explain to students that make inferences is an appropriate strategy to use when they don't understand every word they hear or read. They can use what they do understand to help them figure out the rest. If you have emphasized in your explanation one skill, like reading, make sure to emphasize that the strategy can be used with other skills as well, such as reading or writing. We can now explain example of presentation. First one, your or students read Froggy gets dressed. Ask students again, what kind of weather is Froggy preparing for? Ask students if they were right before. The fourth one is tell students that they are learning to guess what a story is about using a picture and information that they already know. Using the pictures to guess what a story is about is a strategy called make inferences. Using this strategy can help understand the stories that you are reading or listening. Model the strategy by thinking aloud. Say, for example, in this picture the frog is putting on his socks. I think it's going out. Third one is practice. The content and strategy taught serve as a material to practice. Think carefully about your students' ability. Success with the learning strategy depends on whether students find them useful. The next one, while introducing new strategies, coach students with reminders to use previously learned ones, which should be gradually eliminated. The next one, in the early stage, students also need feedback. So let's continue. We can hear the given some examples. I will explain this one. Example, practice number 1. Have children dress up and act out, retell the story. Show picture cue cards and teach students modeling several different types of clothing. Ask them which picture would be appropriate for them accompanying Froggy on his walk. Have the students draw an animal friend to go with Froggy. Have them draw the appropriate clothing for the animal's walk. Have them describe the articles of clothing in their picture. Example number 2. Reintroduce the strategy. You can use what you know about weather and season to figure out what months of year the story takes place. And even though the book does not say, this is another way to use strategy. Make inferences. The next one, show the students the picture again and have them guess which season and month it might be. Ask them how they know. Remind the student that they are using strategy, make inferences. So, show pictures of children dressed for various weather conditions. Have the students guess what season and month it is. Remind them that they are using the picture to help them understand. Fourth one, evaluation. It focuses on students' self-evaluation of the effectiveness of the strategies they use in accomplishing specific tasks. Students need to find out which learning strategies work best for them in certain tasks and why. There are several methods: class discussions, learning strategies checklists. Evaluation. Ask students to raise their hands if they guessed what kind of weather Froggy was preparing for. Ask them to raise their hand if they guessed what season the children in the pictures were dressed for. Ask students to raise their hands if making guesses before reading a story helps them understand it more easily. Ask them if they are going to make guesses about other stories from pictures. Students retell the story using pictures and short sentences. Expansion. Students learn to relate and transfer strategy used to ask to other tasks, subjects, areas, and aspects of their lives. If they have used make inferences while reading a story, you might model how to make inferences while watching a movie. It is important to recognize and seek occasions when learning strategy instructions can be reviewed and reinforced. Here is a given example for expansion. Make inferences to talk about the temperature. Using the same pictures, have the children guess if it's cold, cool, warm, or hot outside. Tell students make inferences is also a helpful strategy to use while reading. Having students make guesses from cover picture about stories they are going to read. Explain the importance of strategy. Here is given some points. Point out to students how they benefit from using strategy. For example, as I listen to this story, the part that I don't understand, or I can understand better by making inferences. Dear students, our topic ends up. I hope you will understand all of the tasks and informations. See you next time. Goodbye.